no professional staff backstage. Everything was under volunteerism. The costume department, the makeup department, the wig department, the prop department, and I thought, oh, it's going to be a disaster. There's no way it's going to work. But among these elves and fairies and gremlins and leprechauns were 3 giants and their wives. Are they called giantesses?
Yes.
One was in charge of everything behind the curtain. That was Bill and Matthews and his wife Sandy, who worked back there. And 2 of the giants were in front of the curtain. Dick Holland and Mary Holland, who at that time Dick was president of the opera, and Fred and Eve. And I remember so often turning around when I was doing something and seeing Fred pacing all over the auditorium. He was head of the Artistic Standards Committee at that particular time, as well as being a vice president. And he was checking us out from all levels and all angles. Well, suddenly, as things came together, the amazement turned to admiration. These people were absolutely wondrous in what they did and how much they gave to the opera company. And I remember so many of them so well, who became great friends, as did the Matthews and the Simons and Holland with me. And I miss them. I miss those kinds of people to work with. It's not unusual in opera to have volunteers, but then I discovered that the whole board was volunteer, that nobody was a professional. They were all business people, and they did everything, sold tickets, and they sold publicity. They ran this company so professionally that at the time I was on the National Endowment for the Arts Council, I did several surveys of opera companies to see whether they deserved grants. And so I knew what I was looking for. And at the same time, I was an advisor to the Corbett Foundation and was able to manipulate some funds for Opera Omaha, which I think allowed them to go from 2 productions a year to 3 productions a year, and also ultimately to go from Omaha Opera to Opera Omaha and hire professional staff. Fred and Eve, the first time was 40 years ago, just about this time of year, because that Calf Pag was the April production. I admired the company then, I admire the company now. I was grateful that I could do what I did for it. I was with the company probably 6 full years directing everything that they did, including the opening of the Orpheum with Beverly Sills doing Lucia, which you may remember. And I appreciate all that you have done, all that you have given. I hope the community, the city, and the opera appreciate everything that you have given. You gave the famous 3 T's, or volunteerism, or board service, time, talent, and treasure. Of those 3, the most important is the time that you have involved in this community and this opera company, because it will never come again. Time is irreplaceable. And I admire you for that. I cherish our friendship. And I'm honored to be here to honor the honored couple.